Emily Taylor here. It is March, what is the date today? It is March 22nd. And this is just my weekly update to kind of share what I've been up to and take your questions as well. We try and keep this about 15 to 20 minutes long. So if you have a question about collage quilts or getting creative, any question, just put it in the chat. And I will get to your questions. So right out of the chute, I just wanted to share kind of what I've been up to since I saw you last. I did another Pop Art Pups 3-hour live workshop, and I think that went really well. It was kind of fun because what we do is I do a lecture and then I'll work on whatever people choose to have me work on. Hi, Karen. I am doing so good. Thank you so much for asking. Many of you know I had total hip replacement surgery 3 weeks ago, and I'm walking really well, trying to, oh, good. I'm glad you got your pattern, ordered your pattern, Amy. So anyway, I'm doing good. Thank you very much. And we did that live webinar. It was really successful. We had 2 of them. And I think what I'll do is I will make the replay available for to purchase from my Teachable platform. So if you're still interested in watching that replay where I do my whole lecture about color theory and fabric selection, there's a lot to it. And then I'll walk through the process of making one of the pups. This is the pup that we finished the first time. And this is the pup. I didn't quite get it finished, but you can see this is what I was working on. And I will get this done so I can send it out to let's see if you can see it without shadow. We'll get this done and send it out to the people that were part of the webinar. So anyway, the other things that I'm working on, oh, good. Thank you, Linda and Pat. I'm glad you enjoyed the class. I didn't, this is the first time I've done a live webinar 3-hour class. So I wasn't sure how it would go, but I feel like it went well, and the feedback was good. So I always appreciate your input. If there's something that I need to change or alter when I do a class, I welcome your feedback. You can contact me anytime at emily@collagequilter.com. So I'm just going to share with you a little bit about what I'm working on, and it's a good time to share that, artist block. So one of the questions this week was, do you ever get artist block? And yes, I have artist block right now. And when this happens to me, and it happens to me often, it makes me absolutely crazy. It's such a hard thing. I'm sure many of you have felt like this too, where you're working on something. I've been super excited to work on it. I've got this vision in my head of what I want to produce, and I can't translate it, or I can't make it work quite right. That's been really, really frustrating to me. You can see this project in the background. This is incorporating the geraniums and the parrot and the orchid and the hydrangeas, and I've just changed that composition multiple times. I want it to be really bold and kind of maximalist, and I can't get the background right. I'm not satisfied with the composition. So I'm still thinking through how to get this to a point where I feel like I've nailed it, because right now I feel like I've nailed the individual elements. Like, I'm really happy with the parrot. I'm really happy with the orchid. I'll probably change the pot that the orchid is in. I'm really happy with the geraniums. I'm so with the hydrangeas. Let me pull that up here so you guys can see it a little bit closer. Look how good I'm walking. So you can see I put my drafting table on casters, so it makes it really easy for me to move this around. So this is the composition that I'm working on. Obviously, I've got something really bold happening down here in what I want to be the tablecloth, but then there's this, it's not quite there yet. Another thing too, I covered up the pot for the orchid blends in too much. So I think I might actually cut that pot out and do another sort of chinoiserie pot. Here's kind of a fun thing. This is a dish that I'm working on. It's not finished yet, but I'm excited about this because for the first time I used Inktense pencils. So they're, they're like colored pencils that I can draw on, and then when I wet it, it turns into ink, permanent ink. And so you can barely see, and I'll work on it some more, so I'll share it when I'm finished, but there's a little shadow that I'm working on this pot or this little dish. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I'll get this right. What I might do is just set it aside, and I need to finish up the Pop Art Pups quilt this week. So I'll be quilting that this week in preparation for the live Q&A, which will be this Saturday. I think it's this Saturday night. So the 27th, I will host a live Q&A about the Pop Art Pups. I'll show you how I have finished the quilt, how I quilted it. And so I think I'll just set this project aside until I get the Pop Art Pups done. And anyway, so you can kind of see where I'm struggling with this. I want it to be bold, but it's just, I don't know, it's not working quite yet. I'll get there though. I'll get there. So that's what I am working on. Let's take a look at some of the comments. Susan also agrees. Okay, so Susan, you said you can't single out one thing to get started on. That's kind of oh, you know what else I want to show you? I want to show you I want to get back into painting, oil painting, and I just finished a painting, so let me go grab it. I'm sorry, I should have got that before. Hang on, I'll be right back. See how fast I can move with my new hip. Okay, I'm coming. Yes, I haven't abandoned you. I had to walk into my secret studio. I have a secret studio back there where I have a secret door and all my paint stuff is in there. So these are a few things. Did this a few months ago. I am so happy with the way this turned out because I hadn't picked up my oil paints in a long time and I really like that. So I'm going to get that framed, and I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out too. That's kind of a fun little painting that I did recently. My daughter did the same thing and we worked on it together, and it was just so fun to be able to paint together and kind of teach her what I've learned. As you guys know, or probably maybe some of you know, I'm a self-taught artist. I didn't study art in college. I graduated in political science, summa cum laude. But I was told that I would never make any money as an artist, and so therefore I didn't pursue it. And I've only made money as an artist for my whole adult life. I've been an artist. Not a ton of money, but enough to get by, and it's given me the chance to be a mom working at home, which I love. And now I'm fortunate enough to have this beautiful space, this beautiful studio that I can work in. So anyway, back to some questions here. Let me make sure. Okay, so I'm going to look at some questions. Michelle just asked, can I look at the class after the fact? I just saw this. Yes, what I'm going to do, Janice, is make the class one of those webinars, but they were the same, available on my Teachable platform. So Teachable is where I have my paid videos. They're quite inexpensive. And I will put that up for sale for those of you who would like to see that. Susan also uses Inktense with aloe vera. I've heard that. Okay, so let's see. Love your parrot, but he needs to be grounded. Yes, I understand that. He's floating right now. Clearly, he needs to be on a post. I'll get there. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I will create a stand for the parrot. Don't worry. It's not finished. So my daughter also, she's working from her apartment today, but she did text me a few questions, which I think are excellent questions that have come from a lot of you people who've sent in questions. So I'm going to just pull out a few of these and answer these. And then if I see any other questions from our live audience, I will answer those also. Number one, do you see any similarities in your early artwork and your current artwork? That is such a great question. And here are the similarities. The challenge is the same. So even when I was a beginning artist trying to figure out how to paint murals, a lot of what I did I wasn't happy with, but my customers were happy, so great, take the money. And that's how I feel with a lot of my collage work now. In fact, I see it's very, very similar to painting. I'm painting with fabric, and it's amazing to me how I learn by doing. And when I was a mural artist, that is what I did. I learned by doing. I learned by pushing myself to just do the work. And I see that with collage quilting. If I push myself to keep working and do the creative work, I learn as I go. And it can be a little bit of a battle sometimes to always push myself to work, but every once in a while will have a breakthrough. And I'm in need of that breakthrough right now. I really need a breakthrough. So someone asked, do you have an art degree? No, I don't have an art degree. As I have said, I've taken lots of development courses, private courses. I studied with an artist in Salt Lake for a long time, and there was a high intensity sort of portrait class that I took one time by a famous artist. I took that class. So anyway, someone asked, as an artist, would you say you view the world in a different light? I think absolutely. I now am looking, and this has just happened in the last year or two. I feel like now when I look at a landscape or beautiful flowers or something, I am seeing things that I didn't ever see or appreciate. You know, we can all appreciate something that's beautiful, but now I see colors and shapes and stuff in a different way, and I want to continue to try and see that. This will be probably the last question, and then we'll save some questions for anybody else that has a question on the live stream. Well, we'll take two more. Are there any other artists in your family? Yes. My grandpa was a wonderful amateur artist, and I have lots of his paintings in my home. And it was the funnest thing when I was younger. My grandpa and I would always enter into the state fair together. He would enter a painting in the senior division, and I would enter into the open division. And that was really fun. For a lot of years, we would take our paintings down to the Utah County Fair or Utah State Fair and put those in. And that was just a really fun memory. So my grandpa was really happy that he saw that someone in the family continued with art. And they were so cute. They hired me to paint. My grandma and grandpa hired me to paint. I was one of their I painted in their house as a mural artist when I was barely starting. And they were so cute. They were just so proud of me. My grandpa was so proud of me. So that was fun. And when I did the portrait class, it was in the 90s, I chose to paint a portrait of my grandpa. And so I gave my grandpa that portrait, and I am proud of that portrait. He was also a really, really expert jazz musician. He played the guitar. And so the painting is the portrait of my grandpa playing his guitar. And now that portrait is hanging in my son's room. My son is a phenomenal guitar player. So it's really, really fun, isn't it, to think about the characteristics and the qualities that we develop in, and we hope that our posterity also appreciates and develops those talents. So that's been really fun to see that I'm an artist. My son is a guitar player. Okay, so the last question, and then we'll take any questions that you have. What is the favorite part of your job? There are a couple things that I really, really love about this job. One is I really love interacting with the community of quilters. This is super fulfilling to me to run these Facebook groups and to do the live videos and to feel like I have a connection with other people who are like me. And I'm humbled that people care about what I'm doing, and I'm happy to share. And so that's probably the number one thing that gives me the greatest satisfaction is teaching and sharing and connecting with other quilters. The other thing, of course, that's super awesome about my job is that I love being up here in my quiet studio. I've told you I've got this view out on the mountains and light coming in, and it's just, I feel so blessed that I've got this beautiful space to work in and that I can sit here and create, and yet I can be really close to my family so they can always access me. And I'm so grateful that I can have my daughter work with me. That's a big, awesome, wonderful thing. So I feel incredibly blessed about where I'm at in life. I know I'm super, super blessed, and I hope to continue to develop my talent and to share whatever goodness I can bring to the world. That's my goal. So that's enough about me. I really appreciate you joining me. I'm always so surprised that people care that what I have to say. So let's just double check and see if we have any other questions. Okay, so if you have a question, go ahead. We've got YouTube, and this is streaming live to YouTube and to Facebook. So if you're catching it on either platform, I can see which platform you're on. And if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. And let's see here if I can find any other questions that you have. Well, I want to know what everybody's working on. And so if you'll share with me what you're working on, and if you have any artist block, maybe we should do some sort of, you know what I've been thinking about, and I want to know if you guys would love this. I have wanted to do this. I have wanted to do a 30-day challenge of 30 days of sitting in my studio, working and doing a live thing every single day, showing you exactly what I'm working on, and you guys can hop on and maybe we can share somehow what we're doing. So I think I'm going to actually set that up maybe in April. I would love to push myself that way, and I would love to push you that way to increase our creativity. And so I think I'd love your feedback, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a 30-day challenge where I sit in my studio and produce something new every single day. Whoa, that would be tough. I want to do it. You guys want to do it? Okay, let's do it. We're on. So Janice says, I feel like the large flowers on the tablecloth compete with the gorgeous flowers. They do compete a little bit, but that's kind of the look that I want. I want it to be really maximalist. And so we'll see. But thanks for your comment, Janice. Okay. Well, I'm going to sign off now. So if you have additional questions, Harmony confirmed. Love the idea, a 30-day challenge. Well, let's do it. Okay, Sharon, let's do it. Let's do this 30-day challenge. Karen says, yikes, how about a week? Okay, maybe we should start with a week, and then we'll see how it goes. I like that idea. Maybe start with a week, because I have a busy April. My birthday's coming up, and I've got lots of lectures and workshops. Okay, so give me your feedback about a week challenge or a 30-day challenge. Maybe you guys can join me for 1 week and I'll do it for 30 days. Maybe that's the thing. That would be fun. I'd like to figure out how to do that. Okay. So anyway, that's what's coming up. Let me just also say, remind you, there will be a live Q&A this Saturday evening. I think it's this Saturday evening. Let me double check the time. Yeah, I've got it scheduled for 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Mountain Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. A live Q&A will go for up to an hour, as long as you guys want to go, as long as you have questions. I'll be going over quilting the Pop Art Pups and how to finish it. And so that will be in the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group. If you have questions between now and then, go ahead and post them either on Facebook or YouTube. You can always contact me, Emily@collagequilter.com. And let's see, I also want to point out a couple other things. I do have some workshops coming up with the Spring Quilt Fest at the end of April, so watch for those announcements. So if you're looking for a project, a good beginner project, I've got a really good beginner project that will be Felicity. That is an absolutely foolproof project. And I will also be doing Art in Bloom, and that will be an exclusive thing. I'm not doing Art in Bloom anywhere else, and you can only get the Art in Bloom as a foundation panel through this class. So I'll announce more about that, but that is the Spring Quilt Fest. So that's I think it's quiltfest.com is where to sign up for those classes. So, okay, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I hope you have a happy Monday and a great week, and go make the world a beautiful place with your artwork and your light. Okay,